To everyone. My name is Mareba Mack. I'm one of the program managers at DANTES, and I have the pleasure of working with the Cooter Journey program, as well as several side projects, one of which is the DANTES Counselor Support Network, to which you have all committed to attending today. And we couldn't be happier that you've decided to spend your time this 1 hour with us for us to just have a conversation and share some ideas. Emily, did you want to share your screen so we can see our slides here?
Sorry about that. I'm just pulling those up. I apologize about that.
No problem at all. And for those of you on the call, I am very, very happy to introduce you to my good friend and colleague, Emily Bachman, for over on our VES team. If you've done anything with DANTES over the course of the past year and a half or so virtually, her hands, heart, and head have been all over it. She is incredibly talented. And so she'll be sitting in the meeting with us today. She is very knowledgeable of DANTES products and programs. So I'm most happy to have her with us on the call today. Yeah, we'll just put you on a brief hold here until we're able to get our slides up.
Sorry, Marie, but they're just pulling up right now. I apologize for the.
No problem. So while we're standing by here just for the visual, I can do the, I'll read out the agenda for us.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So today we're going to go over several things. It's going to be a really informative, power-packed meeting. And the thing that we want the most is for you all to feel free to engage. This is just us. There's no company in this phone call. You know how when we were children, your parents would say, well, you know, you don't talk about certain things around certain company. Well, this isn't that type of dynamic. We are just friends and colleagues talking about all over the overall of us have, and that's to prepare our service members while they're on active, and also for when they do separate from active duty or the reserves. And so today's agenda, we're going to have a featured speaker to come on board and talk about her program and some major changes to her program. I'll also take a lap around DANTES, if you will, and just provide some updates on the programs that the program managers felt were pertinent and that they wanted me to get them out into the field. So I'll handle that as well. And then we'll have a segment, and we plan to include this segment into all of our future Counselor Support Network meetings. And we want to call that the Counselor Corner. And that's basically where we take care of each other, where we share ideas and such. So we'll take care of that today. And then we'll have any closing remarks. Something I want you all to prepare to do, you know, as we're in this meeting, at the end of this session, if you have something that you want to share, you know, go ahead and write it down while we're going along, or you can jump in. But this is an interactive meeting, so we just want you to feel free to share it as we go. And like I said earlier, Miss Emily Bachman from VES is along with us. And Emily, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce our special guest speaker for today.
Thank you so much, Mareba. So I just want to take a moment and introduce Ms. Kiwanis Short. She is our academic skills training program manager, and she'll be sharing some great information with us today. Many of you have attended one of our webinars with Ms. Kiwanis and Ms. Elizabeth Berry from Peterson. So we're so excited to have Ms. Kiwanis Short joining us. I'm going to turn it over to you now. Kiwanis, please share with us a little bit about yourself, and we're excited to have you joining us today.
Hi, good morning. I've worked for DANTES for about 12 years. Before that, I worked for the Department of Navy. I worked primarily in the testing center and at the Navy Supply Corps School. And working at Dantes, I've worked with many other programs from DoD MOU to compliance. And I've only been working in the academic skills program for a couple of years, but it's been a really exciting time because we've been writing new contracts and new requirements for the program. And as a lot of people say, we've been trying to modernize it, but actually a little bit more than that. So I'm excited to share this with you this morning and hope not to be too redundant from some of the webinars.
Kiwanis, are you able to pull up your slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Can everyone see my slides?
I
I
am
don't
not-
see them yet.
Not yet.
Emily, do you see them yet?
No, I don't. Did you try to do a full screen share?
I did. Should I try again?
Yeah, try it one more time here.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to share. If not, I'm gonna, oh, there it goes. Perfect.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay, great. And that's why we have Emily to help us through this. All right, so we've learned who I was and the program that I do. The agenda that I'm going to go through today is basically just a small overview of OASC, the new features and updates, and what's next. So just for the new counselors, OASC is a comprehensive online course to help service members build their academic skills. Within the course is English, math, and science. And throughout the course, we have videos, animations, flashcards, formula sheets, quizzes, and assessments. And then this can be done online or with an app. The benefits to our service members is that they can easily access online registration. They can do it anywhere that they have a computer, or they can get a Wi-Fi signal with their phone. And a lot of our service members, as you'll see, want to improve their AFCT scores or avoid remediation and earn placement into college level courses. As they go through the course, their progress is assessed. They get instant feedback, but that's actually new also, and it's self-paced. They can do it 24/7 from any computer or phone. Now, so I thought that you might want to see some of the things that we show the IVED, like who are our users? These are our top 5 bases from each service branch for the first quarter. And also, you can see the graphic and the numbers of about the percentage that each service is using. As you know, as you see, Army is our biggest customer. And then we have the Marine Corps, the Army National Guard, and the Air Force are close seconds. We expect the Marine Corps will be start using it even more in the future. And I'll talk about a little bit about that. If you have any questions, certainly put it in the chat and Emily or Aaron will let me know. Now, In January 2021, we launched a mobile app. In 1 year, we've had 4,040 downloads. We think this is a great success. We're excited about this. You can see the countries of people that are using it overseas. The United States obviously is our biggest user base, but then we have Kuwait, South Korea, Germany, United Kingdom, and Puerto Rico. We hope to expand overseas and let people know about it because they seem to have the hardest time getting to a computer. You know, we have one every 5 feet in the United States, but overseas, the service members have a little bit harder time getting access. We have a fact sheet here that tells people how to use the app and where to get it. You can get it at the Google Play Store. The best way to get it is to search for OASC, OASC, to download the app. It's totally free, of course, because Dante's is paying for that through their contract. And here's your little tip. We have a lot of these flyers that you can download on from the OASC portal. So I thought you may have the same question that I have. We hear anecdotes all the time of why are service members using OASC? And in fact, the IDA study did a study and they asked this question also, but a lot of it was anecdotal. So we added this as a question for when they come in to use OASC. And as you can see, 60%, which matches up with the Army, is using it for AFCT. We have people using it to supplement their BSEP or MCAS class, which is their face-to-face academic skills class. And then we have 10% using it for eligibility for commissioning programs. It's pretty exciting, as you know, when somebody comes, hey, I've got to finish this course to get commissioned. I got a couple of letters about that. Guy was trying to get commissioned and needed to finish the course. And that's one reason we started a certificate program, which you'll see later. But as you can see, like the top 3 are talking about, you know, readiness and changing their career and their reclassification. So this is pretty exciting to us. We're going to use this as we move forward. Emily, do you have a poll for us yet?
I'll go ahead and launch that. One moment, please.
So currently, students must score 80% proficiency to obtain an OASC certificate. Would you support lowering the OASC score to 70% or 75%? Just click yes or no. And in a few minutes, Emily will show us the results to us.
We'll give it just a few more seconds here.
So we have about 50-50. About 52% said yes and 48% said no. That's great feedback. Thank you. This is something we'll be looking at in the future, but we'll be basing it on statistical evidence from the actual scores that the service members are showing in OASC. We'll basically see where the cutoff is and where proficiency is. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at some other things, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. I think my slide doesn't want to go now. There we go. Here are some of the modernizations that we've done. It's become an adaptive course. We have an academic help desk. We have tutoring. We have a predictor tool. We have marketing materials as needed. They're required to provide community support. Petersons will be at CCME, and they can also come to some of your quarterly education fairs when we have them in the future. Videos have been added to the OAS program, and we have a new electronics module. And then we also have the option in our contract to do face-to-face training or virtual training, which is available to the services. But the services must order that and pay for that. That's the only thing the services would have to pay for. Online skills course, the adaptive course. This is so subjects can focus on what they need to learn. So as they take the pre-test, whatever items that they score 80% proficiency on, those modules they will not have to go through. I know we've all had those government courses where we were like, please let me not regurgitate this piece that I already know, and are excited when we can skip things. It's the same principle here. Once they score 80% proficiency, they can skip that item. So if they're really great in English, then this allows them to focus on math. We have found that it saves approximately a week from their time spent to complete the course. Here's the basic process. A service member will register. They'll take the pre-assessment diagnostic. They'll complete their prescribed lessons. They'll take the post-assessment, and then they'll receive a certificate if they've reached 80% proficiency. These are two of the new items that we've added based on engagement. This is one of the things that the IDA study recommended. So we have the first piece is an academic help desk. They can email a question and get a video response. It takes about 48 hours for this entire process. Sometimes service member may not have time to talk to somebody or get tutoring. They may want to come back to it. They may not want to engage with a person. So this is an option for them. The other option is live tutoring. While they are in the program, at any point, they can click on live tutoring. They can get a live tutor. It's free and it's 24/7, 365 days a year. So far, we have gotten great feedback from that. The average criteria rating from the tutoring is 4.8 on a scale of 5. So we're really excited about that. And this is the stats on the tutoring right here. The average session has been about 45 minutes. There's a 25-second wait time for them to connect to a person. And as I said, it's 4.8 is the average rating that the service members are giving the tutors. So we're really excited. The next piece that we've just launched is called MAP, My Academic Predictor Tool. It allows test takers to take that pre-assessment test and receive standardized scores and composite scores for each service branch based on the AFCT for that particular service branch. So the calculation will change depending on the branch that they are in. Right now, the report will give them a result for every branch. We hope in the future it'll just focus on their branch. But we do know there are programs where someone in the Navy might transition over to the Army, where those scores could be helpful for them. But we know that's rare. This tool is going to help them determine if they're ready to move forward. And hopefully this will save the service member time as well as money for the services. We're also hearing that the TABE test is it's a lot different than it used to be. They've released a new version. And so we're interested to see some of the services are talking about not using the TABE depending on how well this tool works for them. Mareba or Emily, do we have questions in the chat?
I did notice, Kiwanis, that we did have questions up higher relating to CLEP. I think that was covered. I do see a question from Miss Diana White. Do those scores match the letter codes for each branch? Example, Army has a GT score, WK, PC, AR, and MK, etc.
Yes, they will. There will be the scores when they come out. It will, for the MAPS tool score, it will show you exactly each section. Like the WK section, it'll spell it out. It'll have just the GT score for the Army. It'll say Army at the top and just the scores. So exactly. So we're excited about that because this was really requested by the Army because I guess there's an old GT predictor out there. And so the Army was like, can we do something to make this more relevant to us today? And so the Army is really, hats off to them. They've done pilots for us. They've tested things for us. They've given us great ideas that would help their service members. But when we developed the map, we didn't want to develop just for one service. So we have developed it for every service. And like the Marine Corps, they have a little bit different score for the FCT. So yes, every service is accounted for. This is a little bit more about the map and score. And this shows you how once you get your map score, it'll be the composite score similar to those on the AFCT. And the scoring processes uses a standard deviation and formulas from the AFCT test maker. So what we did was we researched, we didn't research, the Department of Defense gave us how they make the AFCT and how they formulate it. So we use those same formulas and the same standard deviations and mathematics. As you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into testing protocol. We use those same methods to develop the map. We're currently in a pilot with the Army to make sure that we don't have any hiccups within the program. But that being said, the program is live right now. So we did find one little hiccup, had to do with algebra, and we took that out and fixed it immediately. So hopefully, we're crossing our fingers, but hopefully continue to see great success. Definitely let me know if you have any great results or any poor results so we can make it better. This was where we were talking about, I was going to talk about the proficiency, and I asked for it a little bit early. But when they get this 80% proficiency, they'll automatically get a certificate. And it'll either be for English and math or English, math, and science. The service member can choose which certificate path they want to go down. As you know, the Army focuses on English and math, the Marine Corps, English, math, and science. So, and then if you're in the Navy, you can choose either one that you want. The service member can choose any of them, but that's how the certificates are set up. We did have an interesting event this week. Somebody sent me a certificate that wasn't from Peterson's, and the service is dealing with that now. So it'll be interesting. We have a lot of flyers and help sheets that are in the OASC portal that you can download. As you see, there's I want to really point out the counselor guide. It tells you how to set up a portal, an account for yourself, and so that you can monitor the students if you're doing like a face-to-face class or the students on your base. And then coming soon, we're really excited. Peterson's is working on some new marketing materials, and they're going to have a page in their OASC portal, and we'll also advertise it from Dante's that will link back to the portal. And you're going to be able to order posters, handouts, app cards, whatever you need to promote the program. And I believe Emily has another poll for us. We are looking to see how you think some of the best ways are to reach the service member. Facebook, Instagram, libraries, Military One Source, posters, or other. If you have any great ideas, please put them in the chat. We're eager to find ways to reach the service members. And as I say that, I definitely want to give you guys a shout out because you guys have been our #1 priority in reaching the service members. But we want to, go big or go home. That's what they say. So we're looking forward to doing even more. Emily, how's that poll coming?
If we want to give just about 5 more seconds or so, it looks like we still have a few more remarks coming in right now.
Okay, great. And don't forget to put some in the chat if you've got other ideas of great places that the service member, we could reach them through. Okay, so we have 43% Facebook, 16% Instagram, 16% posters, 7% libraries, 7% Military One Source, and others. So I'll be looking in the chat. Are there any good ideas in the chat, Mareba or Emily?
Yeah, Kiwanis, I see Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok for the younger soldiers. And I also see quarterly education newsletters sent out to the units and schools.
Okay, great. Well, I know Emily's going to capture all that stuff, and I might be reaching back out to you for some of those ideas. Thank you so much. We count on our counselors so much to help us forward our programs and get them to the service members.
I love the TikTok idea. Maybe we should have a contest. We need to have a TikTok contest.
It sounds fun. Sounds fun, Mareba.
Any volunteers?
Ooh, I'll be the judge. How about that? Let's see. I think every time we have a poll, it's difficult to get the next slide to change. So we'll just be patient.
Yeah, it's no problem. We're with you.
This is basically the last slide anyway. The last slide says, are there any questions? So we can go ahead to that. We can go ahead and talk about that. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and Mareba or Emily will let me know what they are.
Yep, I see.
What is?
Let me see. I can't really tell who it's from. Oh, actually, it's from a person from our side. DES, Miss Erin Roberts is saying that TikTok, she's not sure if TikTok is allowed on GOV sites. But, obviously that'd be something we would need to research out and make sure that whatever step we take next is wholesome and in the right direction. Yeah, Facebook is aging out, Diana. I see that. I agree.
All right, well, I'm just going to take, I know the last slide is just questions, so I'm just going to stop sharing. There it is. And this has got my contact information. You can call me or email me anytime. My phone number is 850-380-6878. The best address to use right now is Dantes_academic_skills@navy.mil. Believe it or not, I cannot receive email from headquarters or DC right now, or even Army. If it's a .mil, I can't receive it right this second, but I can receive the Dantes_academic_skills@navy.mil. I can always get those. If you have technical questions or service members have technical questions, send them to support@petersons.com. They have a 1-800 number, 338-3282. If you ever have any issues, like Mareba said, this is just us. If y'all have any issues whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, excellent job, Kiwanis. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you. This has actually been my first session, and it's been great. Thank you, Mareba.
Yes, you're welcome. So everyone, we are gonna continue on through our presentation for today. But please, if you do have questions kind of relating back to this topic, you can still jump in at any point. We still have a bit of time remaining. So this area, I'm just going to do some quick program updates for you. I just asked around the organization if the PMs had anything they wanted to update you on or call attention to, or anything that they've received via email that I could just kind of shout out during this forum. And Mr. Doug Johnson is our PM for the MTEP program. And Doug wanted me to point out that this month in the DIB, there's going to be a section dedicated to MTEP and the great effort he's put behind modernizing that project. So for MTEP, Doug is just asking that you use the DIB as a companion piece to that program. And obviously, if you have any questions that kind of overflow, you can reach out to him directly. And all of our contact information will be provided at the end here. And I also got information from Mr. Matt Swans. He's over in our PLA division, and it's regarding testing. Matt just wanted to remind all the counselors out there in the field that remote testing is available at no charge to our service members. So with it being sort of a new initiative, we just kind of want to keep it in the front of your minds, reminding you that it is an option. If you have any difficulty pursuing it as an option, then you can reach out to those on the PLA team or any of us here at Dantes, and we'll get you squared away. Let me see, one thing that I get in my mailbag very frequently, Cooter Journey is my program that I manage for the organization. And I always get questions about gaining access to Cooter. Yes, there is a vetting process. Cooter, on our website, there is a link. If you want access, and that email the form that you complete comes directly to me. And then I get that to Cooter Journey, and they'll provide you with access. And that's so that we have a way of vetting who is in our programs and seeing what our service members are doing. So that process is just so that we're taking care of ourselves and our personal security and safety, and that of our service members. So for Cooter access, you have to reach out to me directly. And finally, one other update that I have is regarding Troops to Teachers. If you've been around military education for any amount of time, you are very familiar with that program. And we did learn back in October that effective October 1st, 2021, DOD sunset the Troops to Teachers program as a part of a defense-wide review. However, today I do have a surprise guest visitor, and that is the director of the Troops to Teachers program, Dr. Tahisha Quarles. Tahisha will be joining us today to talk about troops and to give us an update to the last update. Welcome, Dr. Quarles.
Thank you, Mareba. I appreciate that. Let me try to share my screen here. If you guys can see it, just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. All right, so the Troops to Teachers program has been through a lot of changes. Over the past 20 plus years, the program has gone back and forth between the Department of Education to the Department of Defense, and back and forth between the two. And so, as Mareba mentioned, the program was sunset in last fiscal year, the beginning of last fiscal year. We sunset the program. The funding for the program was realigned to other priorities in the department based on the defense-wide review. everyone in what's considered the fourth estate. So all of the field activities and agencies outside of the military services are called the fourth estate within DoD, and all of the fourth estate got cuts with the defense-wide review. And for us in our portfolio, it was the Troops to Teachers program. However, over the past year, there's been a lot of congressionals, a lot of advocacy groups, some of the bigger groups like the American Legion and Student Veterans for America, a lot of people lobbying Congress to bring the program back. So in the most recent National Defense Authorization Act, the program was reauthorized by Congress. And so right now where we stand is the program is coming back, but we don't have an exact date as to exactly when we can let people into the program. And that's because of a couple of things. So first, like you all, we're waiting for the continuing resolution to be resolved and Congress to actually pass a budget. Once Congress passes a budget, the department will, if Congress doesn't specifically appropriate money for the Troops to Teachers program, then the department will determine how much funding the program will receive. And then based on how much funding the program receives will kind of be a gauge of what we'll be able to offer. So in the past, we've been able to offer a variety of services, including financial incentives in the form of bonuses once people get placed into the classroom, up to $10,000. Whether or not we'll be able to offer that bonus, we're not sure. One of the things that is still going on, even though the program sunset, we have grants with state departments of education that have been ongoing through the sunset. So because there was a possibility of the program becoming reauthorized, a lot of the states chose to continue to offer services to service members that were currently in the program and new people that expressed interest in joining the program, even though the official program was sunset. And so there was money left over, not expended due to COVID shutting down a lot of face-to-face events. And so a lot of the states, not all of them, but a lot of the states are still operating. So on your screen, these are the states that we currently have. The ones that are grouped together are in a consortia together. So they work together to be able to deliver the program. But these are the states that currently are still helping people who express interest in the program. They reduce barriers such as everything from, expediting their certification applications to helping them find funding to complete certification programs and helping them actually get hired, doing soft handoffs with the hiring officials. We also have states that are still doing a lot of webinars to be able to provide group counseling, but they also do individualized counseling to help people understand what are the educational requirements that they need to meet for certification in that state, how they can get certified on an expedited route. And many of the teachers, especially those coming into the program, who are in the process of separating or just separated, 9 times out of 10, they usually can get them hired even before they're certified. So a lot of people are using the DoD Skill Bridge program for the last 6 months of their military service and using that to work towards certification and actually work in a school system before they even leave active service. And so a lot of that has still been going on over this past year. And the states are specifically helping with making sure they help meet the critical shortages in those areas. And so they're helping service members, get into high need schools, Now, service members can choose whatever school they want to teach in. We're not like Teach for America, where Teach for America requires service members, not service members, but just their participants, period, to teach in high need inner city schools. Our program is different, to where service members can teach at any type of school, but the ones who teach in high need schools or in a shortage area, such as science, math, special education, a foreign language, or career and technical teachers, those are the ones who are usually eligible for financial incentives for getting hired. So I did want to let you know, even though the program is currently closed, we still have states who are helping people. And so because we still have states who are helping people, we want to encourage you all to have service members visit the Dantes website on the Troops to Teachers page and fill out the program interest form. So it's really quick. It's just a, name, email, service, best number to contact them, and what states they're actually interested in teaching. And we use that information on a weekly basis to send those names and the contact information to the states that are still operating based on where they say they are interested in teaching. And those states are reaching back out to service members to let them know. And we're also gathering this list to let them know as soon as funding becomes available, we'll be able to open the program and allow them to actually register to officially be in the program and get some additional support once they're actually officially in the program. So if you do have people who are still looking at joining the program, they can join kind of in an unofficial capacity, but there's still support out there for them during this time. Now, over the past year, we did spend a significant amount of time shutting the program down. So what that means is any contracts that we had for caseworkers to support service members, those contracts ended. The contracts and the system that we had, the database, was actually decommissioned. So we no longer have a system to be able to intake people into. And so once we get funding, there'll probably be about at least a 6-month lag time before we're able to actually start letting people in the program, because we'll have to start from scratch with getting a system in order to help people be able to join, and so that we can track people and things like that. So while we have this time, what we're doing is several focus groups with all of our different stakeholder groups. And we've held some already, and we wanted to extend those focus groups to people in the field that were interested. And so we'll put more information out on that later, but we wanted to hold focus groups specifically with counselors in the field to see, as we build back the program, how can we build back the program better? So there's specific legislative guidelines on things we can do and things we can't do, but there's a lot of things that we can do to make the program better. And we've already been starting to implement some of those ideas and putting them into practice so that we have a stronger program coming back. So please look out for us reaching out to the field to ask for input in the form of focus groups, just on your experience of helping service members transition, helping service members with the supports that they need. That's the biggest thing that we're looking for. What supports are service members not getting through the program? What holes can we fill? One of the biggest things we know is a hole is funding. With a change in legislation a few years ago, the legislation changed so that service members wouldn't double dip. So the program used to offer a stipend up to $5,000 to pay for education related or certification related costs for the program. However, when the legislation changed for the post 9/11 GI Bill, if a person is eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill, they're not eligible for the stipend, which means nobody that goes through the program is eligible for the stipend, because everybody is eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill. So it was kind of a catch-22, which created a need to where there's up to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 worth of certification program costs that service members are having to figure out how to pay for. And the programs that they're trying to attend, they're not certified by the GI Bill. So the GI Bill won't pay for it, and we can't pay for it because they're eligible for the GI Bill. So it puts a big hole there. And so helping us figure out how we can get around that hole to help service members get the funding that they need to be able to meet some of these certification costs is one of the things we would love to collaborate with counselors to figure out a way forward. And so these focus groups will be in partnership with our state liaisons. So you guys will have a chance to meet the state representatives, especially from your state, so that you guys can build a better relationship and help collaborate on ways to better promote the program on your specific base in your area of influence. So if you have any questions, you can email me directly. I'll drop my email in the chat, and then you can also call me directly. I'll drop my number as well about the program. But we're super excited for it to come back. We're super excited to hear from the field what things we can do to make it better. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Wow. Dr. Krols, thank you so much for that very informative briefing. And I can see in the chat how excited our counselors are to have the program coming back. Michael Taz and Sheila Lewis. Yes, I see you all. How great this news is. I did want to ask one question about the last piece you shared. You were saying that the counselors will have an opportunity to meet with the state reps. Is there going to be a formal process for making sure that happens? Is there something we can do to initiate that, or?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm hoping maybe we can do it through this forum, but I want to, going forward, I've only been over at Troops of Teachers for 2 years. So the year I started the program, 3 months in, they said, hey, guess what? Next year, the program is shutting down. So there's not been very much innovation-wise I've been able to do with the program, but that's okay. We persevere and press on, right? And so one of the things I would like to do moving forward is to make sure there's better connections. In some states, there's great relationships with the ESOs on the base with the state liaisons. In other places, that's not so much. So because of the partnership that we have with the state departments of education through grants, that state Department of Education decides how they want to run their state program. And normally they partner with, probably about 80%, partner with academic institutions to actually run the grant program for them, which makes the people who work in the program employees of a school. And so that we have some locations where ESOs won't let the liaisons on base because of the DoD MOU base access limitation rules of not having a student in the program attending their school. So we want to be able to iron some of those things out in the future. And we want to make sure that the liaisons in the state are actually serving the needs of that particular base population, because it's all different. And that, I think the first step to that is being able to collaborate with the counselors. So I was hoping maybe one of the later sessions of this year for the DCSN, we could maybe begin that conversation, at least with an introduction of who these people are and what they actually do. And also I would like for the counselors to actually voice what it is that they feel was missing from that liaison. So there are some places where that relationship was there, but when I traveled and talked to some of the ESOs, they were like, but I wish the rep would do X, Y, and Z. And so we want to make sure we're being responsive to the needs, and that's only going to happen with starting a conversation. So hopefully we can do something through this network a little later on in the year.
Oh, looking forward to it. The one thing I will say to those out in the field who may not know, Dr. Quarles, you are a great proponent for troops, bringing it back. You are a beneficiary of many of the military education programs. And so putting your power and force and attitude behind the program will only make it a resounding success. So kudos to you and your team for all you do.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Do we have any more questions out there floating around regarding troops? You all heard it here first. We got the update, and also I'll get the invitation out when we get back together near the end of the year to kind of discuss this further. Any questions, just feel free to jump in there.
Mareba, there was a question earlier. I don't know if Kiwanis is still on the line, but a gentleman had asked a question about the portal, and is it just limited to ESOs, or is it open for other types of counselors? I can't remember. I'm trying to find the question.
Yes, it is open to other types of counselors as long as they have a need to know, and that's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, specifically recruiting and retention counselors was his question.
We'll just have to take a look at it, and but
Yeah.
probably so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, when this is over, you guys, if you put questions in the chat that we haven't covered yet, we always go through and review. So we'll find them and respond to you directly, or if you want to jump in, you're free to do that as well. Emily, would you like to share your screen? Uh-oh. Let me see. Okay. I think we may have lost Emily, but that is okay. We are getting, oh, there we are. Hey, Emily. We are getting down to the end of our time together today. It's been a really great opportunity, and I do recognize we only have a few moments left. Emily, you want to cover the CCME portion, or you want me to cover it?
I can go ahead and cover it real quick here. So
yeah.
Just a few highlights from CCME. We have a number of our program managers who will be providing presentations during the concurrent sessions. I did list those concurrent sessions that Dantes will be speaking at. You will be actually able to view those on your app as part of the event. And so I encourage you, definitely during that week, swing by the Dantes exhibit booth. We'll have our program managers there throughout the week, as well as a number of items that you can pick up and take back to your center. So definitely swing by, check it out, and we look forward to conversations throughout the week. So back to you, Mareba.
Okay, thank you so much, Emily. And Emily, I know that you need to get away. You do have another appointment following, but thank you for everything you've done to keep us set up and going forward today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so for everyone that's still here, if you registered for the meeting today, you're going to receive the LinkedIn invitation from me. And it'll just be for the DANTES Counselor Support Network. LinkedIn is not my sweet spot, but I'm getting there. But, we were really looking forward to having a place to where we could kind of house information and chat with each other and see each other and comment. So we decided on LinkedIn. So what I'd ask you to do is look out for that invitation and respond to it. And also, feel free to share the link with your friends out and around the field. I have just a few notes remaining here. I want to say hi to Javonda Curry. If you're in here, Javonda, thank you so much for being kind enough to send me an email to let me know that I had messed up the time zones. So I appreciate it. One thing we have to do is cut ourselves some slack at times. I mean, every now and then you'll just mess things
I
up.
love Javonda.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was very kind for her to tell me that. So I spent about 5 minutes angry with myself, and she responded so sweetly and kindly. So thanks, Javonda. Hey, let me see. I got a couple more questions. Dietrich Giles, did you make it in? You asked for the dial-in info. I sent it to you. And Mr. Jordan Weber, I want to say thank you for responding to my invite earlier. It's kind to get a message from people out in the field every now and then, just so that you know that you're being heard. I appreciate it. Okay, hey, Jamonda. Okay. All right, you all. Well, we are just about at our time. I will continue to stay here for the next few minutes in case people have questions. If not, I'm asking that you look for our next meeting invite. We're looking forward to the late June timeframe. And so you'll see an invitation for that go out soon, a save the date probably. And Javon, I promise I'm going to get the time zone correct. So that'll be in June for our next meeting, and we look forward to seeing those who will be going to CCME at the conference. I want to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Kiwanis Short, today. Thank you so much for giving us the updates. The program has been around for a while, but it's good to see a fresh take on a product that has been a staple for Dantes for a while. So thank you for sharing those updates with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All righty. Thanks to each and every one of you who decided to share your time with us today. Take good care.